Good Monday makers, it's time for the community build roundup, and in this week's episode we're going to be checking out an ATV trailer railing, a hanging plant stand, a hunting blind, banner storage racks, and a boat blind. All kinds of great builds in this week's episode. Let's jump right in and check them out. First up is this ATV trailer railing from Chris. And this is really cool. You can see here he's got an ATV and then this utility trailer that hooks up to it, and basically just wanted to increase the storage capacity of this thing. And basically all he did was build a big rectangle out of 3/4 inch EMT conduit and maker pipe connectors. He used 90-degree connectors in the corners and I think up here in the middle as well. And then he also used T connectors in various places to connect some conduit together, and basically just made this rectangle that attaches to the top of the trailer. We don't really see exactly how. It looks like maybe one-hole straps or something like that, securing those in place or securing the bottom rail in place, not entirely sure. But then on the outside of the rectangle, he just added some netting, and we can see zip ties in place along the top and the sides. And then this front piece here, looks like he used kind of a larger cargo net, and then these have some plastic hooks that he's got going around the conduit at the top there. Really cool. It looks like a great solution. And as I said, this is increasing the storage capacity. You can imagine if this wasn't there, then all of these decoys would be falling over the edge. And this will be really useful for what he's got, duck decoys, as well as, firewood, all kinds of stuff. So really cool, Chris. Thanks so much for sharing this. Next up is this hanging plant stand from Ben. This is really cool. We'll start at the base here. We can see they made a custom base using, looks like a cinder block maybe as a mold, and then they use cement to make this base that is inside of the cinder block. And then as you can see, there's a 3/4 inch conduit vertical going up from that cinder block base. And then they just used a few maker pipe connectors to add these pipes going in different angles. And I like at the very top, they used a single 5-way connector, which has the through pipe in the middle and then 4 pipes coming out of it. We can see some end caps on the end of the pipes as well. But then here, instead of using 5-way connectors, they stacked 280-degree connectors on top of each other, which is a really interesting technique, and it looks really cool. And then again, we can see some more end caps here. And then here it is, all loaded down with the epiphyllum plants, I believe. I'm sure I'm butchering that, but really cool plant. I saw some pictures, and it has a beautiful flower that blooms. So really awesome. And they've just got some, pots here with some hangers that are attached to the conduit. And it looks really awesome, all set up in place. So thanks so much, Ben, for sharing this. We love seeing it. Next up is this hunting blind from Bill, and this is really cool. We can see here it is on top of their rig they've got. Really awesome looking rig, and we can see that here is the frame for the hunting blind. It's made with 3/4 inch EMT conduit. Again, he used 90-degree connectors in the corners, which is what we commonly see for rectangles like this or for cubes. Then we can see some 45-degree connectors to add some bracing, as well as T connectors used in a few different places as well. And then here's another view of the frame. I think this is from underneath. I think it's on its side now. And here we can see he's got it on top of the roof rack. And then we can go back to the very beginning, and we can see here it is with the camo in place. It's got the windows for the hunters to look at, and just looks really cool. So thanks so much for sharing this, Bill. Really awesome setup and an awesome build. Next up is this build from Greg, and these are banner storage racks. He said they have a lot of these quilted banners for their church, and basically they wanted to make a system that was easy to get these banners off, easy to store them, easy to look through them. So they made these racks that are really cool. Basically, there's some 2x4s bolted to the wall. It looks like they use some sort of flange to secure the 3/4 inch EMT conduit verticals in place, and I would imagine these can rotate inside these flanges. And then basically at the top, there's a T connector, and then there's adjustable angle connector here at the bottom, as well as here at the top, which connects this angled pipe. And I imagine that's just supporting, this long horizontal span at the top, just adding some support there. And then we can see a close-up of this setup, and I think he said he got some 1/8 inch thick aluminum metal, and then handmade these brackets that basically create this channel for the wooden dowels of the banners to sit down in that channel. And then it just goes over the top of the conduit and then has another channel on the other side, so you can put a banner on each side of the conduit. And super cool, here we can see all set up, and they can swivel these, look through them, and then easily get off the banners that they need. So really awesome, Greg. Thanks so much for sharing this. Looks like a really great solution. Last but not least is this boat blind from Nick, and this is really cool. Here we can see it all finished and in place, but we'll go and look at the frame and kind of see how it's put together. We can see that they have a Lund boat. I think it's how you pronounce that. It's an all aluminum boat. Really nice boat they got there. And they basically built this framework out of, I think, 1-inch EMT conduit. And there's basically 3 verticals, one in the back, one in the middle, and one in the front on each side. And then they secured this horizontal pipe that runs from the front to the back using crossover clamps, as you can see there, which is really cool. And then going up to the top, they have T-connectors securing this angled, or this vertical that goes up to the top. And it looks like it's a little narrower on the top, just to kind of have a nice angle going up. And they use the T-connectors for that. And then they use T-connectors on the very end to make this rectangle on the top. And then here we can see they use some of the gadget clips that we have on the website to secure the camouflage material and the leaves in place. And it looks fantastic, and we can see they had a successful hunt, which is really awesome and a great build. So really cool. Thanks so much, Nick, for sharing those photos. We love seeing it. And thanks to everybody for posting these builds. If you want to see any of them in more detail, they'll be linked down below. Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.